All right, guys, continuing on with lesson 1.5, here's example 3. It says use the graphs of f of x and g of x to do the following. Take a look at 3a. It's asking us to add f plus g of 2. Remember that according to the rules that we talked about for the first few examples, when we first talked about this lesson, that the sum of two functions is the same as f of x plus g of x, whether it's written as f plus g of x or f of x plus g of x. So again, there's the notation where you write them together or you write them separate that you have to be familiar with. For graphs, I find it easier to work with the two functions separately and then add them, subtract them, multiply, or divide them afterwards. So what I do is I find f of 2 and g of 2, and then I add my answers. Quick reminder, for function notation, ordered pairs are written as f of x equals y. So the x value is the one in the parentheses, and the y value is the one that goes after the equal sign. So f of 2 is when you read f of 2, you have to remember that that is an x value. We discussed that in our previous unit, the previous half of the unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the f function. So I'm going to make f of x, I'm going to color code it red and g is blue. So f of x, I'm going to look for the x value of 2, and I'm going to follow it until I hit an ordered pair that is on the function. So this ordered pair is 2, 1. So f of 2 equals 1. So for the x value of 2, the y value was 1. So f of 2 equals 1. I'm going to add that to g of 2. G of 2, I'm going to follow that till I hit an ordered pair on the function. So this ordered pair is 2, 2. F of 2 is 2, because that is the y value. That corresponds to the x value of 2. All right, so f of 2 was 1, equal to 1. G of 2 equals 2. And then I can go ahead and add those and get 3. F times g of 3. Again, when it comes to graphs, I prefer to find them separately and then multiply, add, or subtract, or whatever the function is asking you to do. I do that last. So again, this is multiplication. The previous one we did was addition. So once I got my answers, I added them. This time I'm going to multiply my answers once I find what f of 3 is. So I'm going to go back to my function, and this time I need to find the value of f of 3. So I look for the x value of 3, and I follow that x value up and down, you know, the vertical line till I find a function or a point on the function. This ordered pair is 3, 2. So for the x value of 3, I get a y value of 2. So f of 3 equals 2. G of 3 is 1 because the ordered pair 3, 1 is on the function. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, next one. G minus f of 3. G of 3 minus f of 3. Remember, the g function is the blue function, so it's important for you to pay attention to which function they're asking you to look at first. So in the blue function, g of 3, well, I found that already previously in another problem. G of 3 was 1. I'm going to subtract, because that's what the original problem wanted me to do. I'm going to subtract f of 3. I also found f of 3 previously in number 3b. F of 3, so I go to the f function, look for 3, follow it till I find an ordered pair in the function, is 2. 1 minus 2, negative 1. G times f. So I'm going to take g times f of 4. I'm going to find g of 4 and multiply with f of 4. G of 4 I have not found yet, so g of 4 is going to be 0 because of the ordered pair being 4, 0. And I'm going to multiply that with f of 4. F of 4, that ordered pair is 4, 2. So f of 4 is 2. 0 times 2, 0. Okay. Then a subtraction of f minus g of 2. So I'm going to find f of 2 minus g of 2. Again, when it comes to graphs, I prefer to write it as two separate problems versus just one. Remember when we were doing the previous lesson, I said that you could separate it into two. So like look at example 2b. I could have done f of -3 and then multiplied with g of -3. Or what I did here is I multiplied them first and then substituted -3. So you always have two options when you're working with algebra, but when you have a graph, I definitely recommend splitting it up into the two pieces. So f of 2, I already found, remember the f function was the one that I color-coded in red. So f of 2 is 1. So that ordered pair is 2, 1. So that's 1 minus g of 2. So the g function of 2 is 2. And then 1 minus 2 is -1. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Just send me a message on Remind, and I'll be happy to help you. Good luck.